Falcons take care of business against the Panthers.
What about Klopp?
By the way, I hope Aiden Hutchinson gets better.
That was awful.
Brutal.
That was
brutal.
That's
Low moment of a great
insane
game.
thing is that he got hurt because he got to the quarterback too quickly. Like, that's how well he was playing, and that's what a kind of a zone he was in. He was defensive player of the year favorite, justifiably so. So hopefully he can come back for next season.
Yeah, I mean, awful injury. Much more of an NFL story than a fantasy storyline. The one thing I will say is that from what I know about Aiden Hutchinson, that while he won't be able to play for the Lions, he's still going to contribute. He will still be there. He is still one of the leaders of that team. Yeah. He will still be on the sideline. He will still be among the people, I believe, joining in and fur up. Yeah. It's
You're trying to make it work. It's all right.
It's a work in progress.
It's atrocious.
Our last one here.
Anyway, we are a pro Aiden Hutchinson team show here, and much love to him.
Falcons, Panthers. Falcons take care of their business, and it was on the heels of their running backs, Jay. Not only Bijan Robinson getting 95 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, but Tyler Algier gets more carries and tops 100 yards.
Bijan Robinson, the greatest insurance back in fantasy football history. He gets out-carried to your point, Connor, 18-50. The issue is the snap rate. He's playing 56% of the snaps. That was 80% in week 1. It's trending the wrong way. It's going down week by week. And now he gets the 2 touchdowns. He has the monster fantasy day. But look, they're playing the Panthers. They're not going to get to play the Panthers every week. Bijan Robinson's not going to put up 25 fantasy points on playing 56% of the snaps. So, look, I think you still have to start him every week. But he is now a high-end RB2. And I think Algier now becomes startable in deeper leagues with the amount that he's playing.
Algier was on my love list this week and others receiving votes. We talked about it on the Love Hate show because he is getting a decent amount of volume. 4 of his past 5 games, he's gotten at least 9 touches. We like this Falcons offense. And so, yes, in 12-team or deeper leagues, he's very much flex viable. And by the way, very quickly, since week 2, Drake London is the 5th best wide receiver in fantasy. Detective Drake London has almost a 30% target share over the stretch. He has also very quietly scored in 4 or 5 games. The Falcons offense is humming, and they host the Seahawks next week.
Yep. Don't think you'd be able to do it, but if you could trade Amon-Ra St. Brown for Drake London, I'd try and make that trade. Drake London projects going better forward.
I think that's fair. But I think that's a fair trade. I think that's.
I want Drake London there.
But I agree with that analysis. I think you can make that deal.
Things aren't great for the Panthers. The good news is Andy Dalton is keeping Deontay Johnson fantasy viable, Matthew. As you said when this change happened, Deontay gets 10 targets, catches 6 of them, 78 yards, and the touchdown.
He leads the NFL with end zone targets. That's always been one of those things with Deontay Johnson. Why can't he score more? Well, I mean, Andy Dalton keeps looking for him. In fact, 29% target share with the red rifle under center. He's had at least double-digit targets in 3 out of 4 games, averaging over 18 fantasy points per game with Dalton under center. Deontay Johnson is a legit top 15-ish wide receiver in fantasy as long as Andy Dalton keeps his job. And I just don't know how I know it wasn't a great day at the office for Dalton, but he's just so much better than Bryce Young in terms at this point. He gives them a chance.
Let's take a look at some of the injuries we're tracking out of the weekend that we will keep you updated on throughout the week. Travis Etienne with the hamstring. Tajay Spears and Jerome Ford also had hamstrings. Elijah Moore with the ribs injury. Marvin Harrison Jr. left the game very early with a concussion. Same for Chris Olave, unfortunately. Dontavian Wicks with a shoulder. Quentin Johnson with an ankle. Hayden Hurst with a groin injury. And Dallas Goedert left the game with a hamstring. So plenty of noteworthy injuries that could drag on for at least another week here, Matthew.
For sure. And Chris Olave, I just want to point him out. We'll talk more about this tomorrow as the week goes on. But Olave, just because the Saints have the Thursday night game. So the idea that it can happen, but it's highly unlikely that Olave clears the concussion protocol by Thursday night. We expect Spencer Rattler to start as well. So that's going to be that'll be a tough game for the Saints. Spencer
Fire up
Rattler.
Bub Means.
Bub Means, exactly, baby. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.